out here. I don't know what they're up to. It just seems weird. You know, I'm not saying I see a gun or anything crazy, but if you have a car, if you could have them just check the area, I would appreciate it. And they might ask you your name. Go ahead. It's really dispatch is who you're talking to. You called 911. And you can give them your name. It's popping up anyways. They probably know it, and they're just verifying it. But then if you say like, "Hey, I want to be anonymous. You know, I don't need to see an officer." That's your protection. You can do that if it's something you're worried about getting retaliated against, thinking that, man, if I call and somehow these kids are going to come back later and do something to my house. Just say, "Hey, I want to stay anonymous," or "I don't need to see an officer. I just like when they come through." The timing, you know, they'll hit it depending on what you tell them you're seeing. I mean, that depends on our code for emergency or how quick they get there. So, does that all kind of make sense? Is that useless pretty much? Okay, now we're getting to better stuff. No. And did you pass those things out you had, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these fire files for file of, and I think does all the fire departments have those or no?
Not everybody. I mean, we just recently got them. That's just
This is called calling,
everybody's
taking care of their
information,
people.
emergency contacts on the event that, you know, you're down on the floor, there's nobody there to get us the information. It's hanging on the bridge, we can get it all out there. So we have somewhere to start.
And this is similar. So, I mean, good job with these. This is great. These are not, this is huge to have. I haven't seen these before today. This we started doing, exact same thing. It's a magnet for your refrigerator where you're putting down what you want down. Your personal information, your numbers. Same with this. And it's inside your home. Refrigerators where we hope. So let's do stupid cop scenarios. That would be fun for a minute. We had, this is a true story. A while back we had these check the well-being calls. We're getting a ton of them. Check the well-being. And so you'll get a brother from out of state calls, "Hey, you know what? I haven't seen my brother in a while. Can you have a car go by, check on him?" Yep. Out of state, hasn't seen him. So now you're all deputies. You drive to that house. You knock on the door. Nobody answers. Kick the door in, right? Okay, good. Nobody, okay. Don't raise your hand for that yet. Good, good. You know, you knock first, nothing. So now the next thing we'll do is we'll walk around that house and we'll try to look and see, is there footprints, if there's snow. We'll go to the mailbox, is there a bunch of mail piling up? Try to look in the garage door or in the garage, see if you see a vehicle or something like that. There is, there's a truck in the driveway. Or there's a truck in the garage in this scenario. Kick the door now, still say no, good job. Wait, we'll go over and check with a neighbor. "Hey, have you seen so-and-so lately?" "Nope, hasn't been outside, haven't seen him." "Well, his truck's in the driveway, or in the garage." "Yeah, he hasn't drove in a couple of years." So that doesn't help us. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna call 911 and say, "Hey, can you check area hospitals for this name?" Because we know the person that lives there. And they're gonna call around and they'll check that. Well, nobody. Don't have anybody in there. So what are we gonna do? Boot the door yet?
Call us next.
Yeah, call the fire department. Do we kick in the door? Do we leave? I mean, this is bad. And there's probably 3 of these a day, I would say, go out. Wouldn't you think? At least. Check the well-being. So do you leave now? Or are we going to force entry yet? I mean, what else can we do? We've checked the mailbox. There's mail in it. We've looked in windows. We've seen the truck. It's in there. We've checked with neighbors. We've checked the hospitals. Do we leave? In this case scenario, they did. They called brother back, kind of told him what he had, and he's like, "Well, I'll check in with him a day or 2. I read that shift briefing that night, and I'm like, the next day went into the command officer that was working. I said, "Did stuff change?" I'm like, what if somebody's in that house right now? And just a scenario, what if you fell down your steps? Because that's where you do laundry. Or what if you just fell anywhere and knocked yourself, or broke a hip and you just can't get back? I won't make you raise your hands, but I use it right here. Ask how many still have landlines in their house, and a lot of people don't. Some do, yeah. Yeah, I mean, some do, some don't. But you know what else we do? We keep our one cell phone. And if you keep all your old cell phones, I mean, unless you're trading them in or something, but an old cell phone is still a great thing to have because you can plug it in and it will still call 911 even if it doesn't have service. So I mean, by keeping one of those in your car, keeping one downstairs, keeping one out in a pole barn or a garage if it's away that's charged, if something bad happens, at least you can still get 911 and get, EMS and fire and us coming. So we tell them to keep that stuff. In this scenario, they went back the next day. This wasn't, I don't think, up here, but they went back to that house and ended up kicking in the door. And unfortunately, the guy had passed away, and he was in the basement, and he just had a heart attack, something, and had deceased, and had been down for a couple weeks. So I mean, bad brother didn't call sooner. But that drives me crazy because I have no problem with people being mad at me. When people call and say, oh my God, you kicked in my front door. If you're on a cruise with some chick you just met online or something, that guy's going to be mad at us. He just left for a weekend and didn't want his brother to know his business maybe. But I mean, in other scenarios, it happens. I mean, if you're living alone, there's stuff. And I asked the fire chief before, something they talk about a lot that I never thought about is rugs. It's nighttime, and when you get to be older or younger, it doesn't make a difference. Anybody can trip. But the more rugs that are in houses and stuff, you snag a foot. If you go down and hit your head or something, and I never, before talking to the fire, I never thought about, tell people be careful where you have rugs in the house because they're a trip hazard. It's true. It makes sense. What other little things do we have that, in my house you'd laugh. I buy a ton of those stupid little Amazon motion sensor night lights. I like that because I can navigate my whole house at night without touching a light switch. Just enough light, I can see the floors, I can see where I'm walking, I can see where I'm going, and I'm not lit up from the outside where everybody else knows what's going on. But there's little safety things when you're healthy you got to think about that you're doing in your house to make it easier. And I'm a big advocate of that with the cell phones, having those down and stuff. These are humongous because that exact same scenario I'm telling you about where the guy had passed away, that one, we knew the brother's number in another state. But if not, I know who you are, but I sure as heck don't know how to call. If it was you're just down because you passed out, choked, something weird happened, overdose, whatever it is, when the fire department gets there or EMS gets there, they don't know you're allergic to Vicodin. They don't know what your health allergies are. And if you can put some of that stuff on one of these and have it on the refrigerator, I mean, seconds save lives. I mean, that is a huge difference. If they can get to that and say like, oh, they got X, Y, or Z wrong with them or something like that, or here's the daughter, the son, whoever else to call, that is a great thing to have in your house. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You guys love this so far? I mean, this is great, right? Okay, this is great. Okay.
That'd be good to have in the car too, something like that.
Yeah, she just said good to have in the car. And like I said, fire chief has a bunch of these up here. I have a bunch. Put them. And just put what you're comfortable with information-wise. What you're comfortable having on there, but at least emergency contacts in that. Guys are horrible because guys think nobody checks behind in their wallet. Like, yeah, those little hidden compartments, and that's where they put stuff. Well, we don't know that when we get on scene that like, all right, get his wallet, go back to this area. Okay, read it backwards, and then, it's hard to follow. So that's what these are. These, if you ever see them, if you call, like I said, you guys here have 2 deputies working. I'm just going to go with this, and then I'll correct it later, kind of. If you're going away, if it's here and you can get somebody that works in the front offices or somebody and say, hey, I'm going to be out of town for a while, could you have the deputies check my house? Make sure that you have stuff in the refrigerator because they do like to eat. And no, we won't go inside your house. We don't go inside your house, but we can drive by, and if they're checking it or whatever, you might see one of these. You might see a green card. This means nothing other than at that time when that deputy was there, they walked around your house, they checked it out, didn't see any broken windows or anything crazy, it wasn't on fire or anything. And this is just their little report card, more or less. It's just them letting you know we stopped by and checked it out.
Where do they put that?
They'll stick it usually either in your front door, or they might stick it in your mailbox. If it's cold out, we'll just stick it in the mailbox. No, that's bad. No, they'll still chat. Usually it's either on your front door, they'll put it just, set it in your mailbox, or slide it by your door or something, just so you know they checked it out while that you were gone. But that's all that is, a green card. You don't need to call us back or call anybody else and say you saw it or what was going on with it. It's just there for you so that you know they came by. The other thing is this is a good-looking guy, and I love this picture of me, so what don't we have right now, if you think about it? And this was another thing I got from him at phone books. And it used to drive me crazy when I was still working on the road a lot. You would go out and you would have some horrid thing that happened. You lost a loved one. You got in a car crash. I mean, your worst day happened, and we'd come there and I give you a little card that says Troy Cunningham 26-5567773. And you're not hearing a word I say that day because you are in shock. I mean, your worst nightmare just happened. And you remember me maybe being there, and I've just left you with a card with a bunch of numbers on it. And I hated that. So what we do now is there's a couple things. I sign letters, and I personally sign every single one we get at the Sheriff's Department if you lose somebody. And it tells you, like, everything that we think you should do or who you should call. It's about a 3-page thing, and I need to start bringing those too so you see them. Because, again, that person's in shock right there. And it might be 2 or 3 days later before they start thinking, oh, bank accounts, shut down this, do this stuff. And so what we tried to do, what I did, is basically from the deputies, we took away those little cards that just say their name and complaint number. And I tried to make it as small as I could so you can't read it. All right, a couple people still awake. Good. We put so many numbers on this. No, you do need cheaters. But it was like everything we thought was important. From if you get scammed, from fraud, to records, to just the prosecutors, just any number you might need. Because I'm learning the more of these we're doing, not everybody's carrying smartphones. And some people's got an older flip phone or a jitterbug or just landlines and no phone book. How do you get the communication? So I do apologize for how small this is written. But this is what you get now. I mean, these are just tri-folds. They fold them up, and they put the deputy's name, the complaint number, and stuff like that on it. And then if you keep these cards, it just gives you a bunch of the places you can call and different information for it. So does that make sense? Yeah, okay. Any questions yet? I'll do my fast drug thing and we'll get into schemes and safety, but Narcan, I hate saying this to you. You should have this. It's free at a zillion different places. It's down at the Sheriff's Department I was never going to do this as your sheriff, I vowed, but it's in a vending machine. And the reason I'm doing it, I was really against it. A lot of jails give it away to people that have opioid addictions when they're leaving. And just like everything else with drugs, the people that were using drugs were saying, you know what, you have this, guess what, I'm going to do more drugs than I usually do, so I overdose. And then when you hit me with Narcan, you're going to bring me back to life. And they were actually going harder than they usually did to see. Am I wrong on anything yet? To see if they... I can't imagine. Between fire, EMS, and us, I can't imagine how much Narcan or naloxone we give out. The reason I say you should have this, if you still do go to stores and don't do everything on Amazon, or you come out here, you can touch a door handle, you can touch a shopping cart, you can touch something that there's fentanyl or something on it, and that gets absorbed from your skin or one of your family members. In Narcan, this literally, you do this, and just like sinus medications, you put it in your nostril and you squeeze the trigger. I mean, hopefully you're not doing it yourself, but if somebody's down, and it's crazy how long somebody can be where you would think they are dead, and they hit them with Narcan or naloxone and they pop back. So I mean, I know fire, I know EMS, and I'm telling you, your deputies, that's what's usually in most of their cargo pockets, is at least one of these. And I keep one in my truck. I've got them at home. So it's just, you can get them free at the sheriff's department. I just didn't like it originally because I thought I don't want to enable somebody that has an opioid problem to go do more of this stuff and overdose. But then when we shifted gears, what I do like is if it's there for our safety, the people that aren't, and I mean, if a family member or somebody's in a car and they're unconscious or something, I mean, it does make a difference. So that's just been a good little thing. So I just brought that so you see it. Yep.
That's just one shot?
Yep.
One.
Yep. You just give the whole dose up the nose. I mean, usually it takes more than one for some people. I mean, not always, but what's the number you've seen?
Oh, the drugs are getting stronger and stronger, so it's taking increasing dosages of that and repeated doses of that to,
Bring people back to
Yeah.
conscious.
and now they're doing crazy things like mixing drugs and stuff too. It's just nuts out there.
It is absolutely. Steve, what's your number? How many?
I think we carried 4 on the rig and we used all 4 once.
Yeah.
The thing is with that too is you can give it to them, it may only last so long, and then they can overdose again, then you end up giving them another.
Give them another
I had a guy in
dose.
Beaver Road, we gave him everything we had, and we put him on a Lucas machine, which does chest compressions on you, so he was physically, medically dead, and we gave him through an IV, and he woke up in the middle of that Lucas machine thumping on his chest. And the only thing he told me is, I wasn't dead and I didn't know. That's all he told me. After he had his chest thumped on for 20 times with the machine, he just was worried about why his chest hurt.
And they do get pissed off at you because they want to get high, and they just didn't know they passed out. I mean, the group I'm talking to right now, I mean, we fought with people because when they come to, they're mad at you because you took their high away.
Does that work with any kind of drug?
Yeah, so this, no, opioids is what this will work for. And what I tell people when you look at Narcan or naloxone, same thing, 2 different names. You guys are more drug people, but when you use it, I always, like, you've washed your car before, right? You wax it, you put wax on a car, and you spray water on it, how it runs right off. That's kind of how this is. Your brain receptacle with opioids, they attach to it. And when this goes up, it kind of like works like a wax. It's done. It releases that. If that makes sense for an analogy. What is good though, you don't know. If somebody's overdosed and they're out, I can't say like, what drug did you take? If they don't have a needle still in their arm or if it's not right there. What's great with this, I could shoot any of you with this right now that are in the room. I might give you a runny nose. You know, it's not going to hurt you. And I know you can get, it's dangerous if you put too much in them. Like, I mean, nothing we're carrying. This is not going to hurt anybody in here. If you did 1 or 2 of these on them, you might have a runny nose when you get done, but it's not going to hurt you.
So it works with cocaine, heroin, anything?
Any opioid, heroin, fentanyls, I don't know if there's a ton of meth that it's hitting, is it? I mean, we're still shooting it, I
Meth is a
know.
stimulant, so it's.
That hasn't done a bunch, so I don't
That
think.
wouldn't even work
But
on
we
that.
still will shoot it. I mean, because that's what right now, the number 1 drug on the streets is meth, by far. Cocaine's making a comeback. There's not heroin in Bay right now. It's all fentanyl.
How about marijuana?
Tons of marijuana. Yeah. I mean, that's something to be proud of. We silvered in that. We're the 2nd biggest county in the state for marijuana licenses. Ann Arbor beat us, Washington did. But silver's good. What, silver? I mean, that's 2nd place. No. No. It's here and it's out, and it doesn't do anything with that. And they do overdose on marijuana. And mostly we'll see that on edibles. You know, people they don't understand, like, and the best thing I've heard is if you go to the store and you get a prescription from a pharmacy, there's 20 pills in there. It says right there, take 1 a day. When you go buy gummies, it doesn't say eat a whole gummy or 3. I mean, it's that same thing. They got to tear it apart, but people don't know that, and they eat a whole gummy or something. And we have had marijuana overdoses too. I mean, you're seeing more of that now too. Probably.
And also that does work too on prescription medications. And what people don't realize is, like if you've had an injury or something, you get sent home with Vicodin or hydrocodone or hydromorphone or one of those. Those are all narcotics. And you get somebody that's maybe not totally together, you know, a little forgetful, they take one, a little while later, like, I take my pain med, they take another one, and they inadvertently overdose.
Yeah.
And that will work on that also.
That's what it's worth carrying with you. It is a good thing to have, and they expire, and we still use them. But I mean, it's at the sheriff's department. There's a bunch of places now. In fact, I don't know this because honestly I haven't been in them. But I think most of the marijuana places, actually, a lot of them will have Narcan too that they'll give you if you go in. So,
What's the number one county?
I'm sorry?
What's the number one county?
Washtenaw, Ann Arbor.
That's Mississippi.
They have more.